Hello viewers, massive news. So I was just scrolling through Twitter and there I see Anthropic has dropped their flagship model, Opus 4.8. Just dropped, no banner, no email, no hype creation. They just dropped the model. So I reload Claude code and the default model is Claude Opus 4.8. Anthropic shipped a brand new flagship model and basically didn't tell anyone. Here you can see it's the default recommended model now. Welcome to AI in 2026, where the biggest lab on the planet drops a model the way you'd push a Tuesday hotfix. Let's get into what actually changed here. Okay, so the first thing is, this is a commendable upgrade from Opus 4.7. Same family, sharper model, but the exact same pricing. We'll get into that later on. But the headline isn't speed. It isn't raw IQ either. It's honesty. Honesty is the kind of word their marketing team would use when they don't have a product to show. But here, this time, there are actual numbers to back it up. Here's the blog post by Anthropic. One of the most prominent improvements in Opus 4.8 is its honesty. We train all our models to be honest, for instance, to avoid making claims that they can't support. Now this right here, this is massive. Anthropic says Opus 4.8 is roughly 4 times less likely than 4.7 to let a flaw in its own code slip past unremarked. 4 times. If you've ever had a model confidently tell you all is done, everything is working while sitting on broken build, that's the exact behavior they're claiming to have crushed. It flags its own uncertainty instead of bluffing. I know we've all been there. And for anyone doing real agentic work, long-running jobs, multi-stage pipelines, the stuff I do all day, that's the upgrade that actually changes your life. A model that says, I'm not sure about this, is worth 10 folds more than a model that is incorrect confidently. Now, along with that, they also shipped 2 things. First is the effort control. There's now a dial next to the model picker. High effort, it thinks harder and longer. Low effort, it's faster and burns your rate limit slower. It defaults to high, and in Claude code, you've got X high and max for the real gnarly stuff. As you can see here, we've got the effort selector here. And the second thing they shipped is dynamic workflows in Claude code. So this is the real spicy one. Claude can plan a job, fire off hundreds of sub-agents in parallel in the same session. Now that is massive. That's going to probably burn your tokens way faster, but that is, and I'll be straight with you. Anthropic themselves call this a modest but tangible improvement, not a moonshot, so don't expect the numbers to just scream off the chart. And here we can see the numbers provided by Anthropic. Where it actually pops off is agent and compute use. On online mind to web, that's browser agent stuff, navigating real websites, partners are reporting 84%, a real jump over 4.7 and over GPT 5.5. Cursor's team says it beats every prior Opus at every effort level and uses fewer tool calls to get there. Fewer steps, same intelligence. That's real efficiency for you. The one I'd actually circle, Databricks says it reasons over PDFs, diagrams, and unstructured documents at 61% cheaper token cost than 4.7. Same multi-model job, way less money. And a legal AI partner says it's the first model to crack 10% on their hardest all-pass legal benchmark. Which sounds tiny until you realize how brutal the bar is. So the pattern, this isn't a model that wins by being a genius on paper. It wins by being reliable and cheaper to run on the boring high-stakes stuff. Honestly, that's the kind of progress that ships products. Now coming down to my favorite part, the part that made me smile the most, pricing. And here we can see the charts that Anthropic has provided regarding model pricing. $5 per million input tokens, 25 per million output. Exactly the same as Opus 4.7. They gave you a better model and did not raise the price. That can't be said for Gemini. They released their Gemini 3.5 Flash, and that at a 200% hike in output tokens from the previous Gemini Flash model, from $3 to $9. But here we've got Opus releasing their flagship model at the exact same cost. And fast mode 2.5x the speed is now 3 times cheaper than it was on previous models. 10 in, 50 out per million. Think about what that means. Normally a new flagship is your excuse to charge more. But Anthropic held the line and made the fast tier cheaper. That only happens when there's serious pressure to stay competitive. Which brings me to the real story actually. Here's the thing nobody is saying out loud. Anthropic shipped a flagship model with no announcement on a random Thursday. That's not a company that's relaxed. That's a company that is watching their door. We've already got some rumors about GPT 5.6 and because actually we know that GPT 5.6 is coming. Developers have already found the model tags Iris Alpha, Ember Alpha and Beacon Alpha sitting in OpenAI's Codex backend logs. Rumored 1.5 million token context window. Now, to be clear, there's no official data and the prediction markets are betting early to mid-June. So I'm not going to tell you it's going to drop on this in the next afternoon. But the signal is undeniable. GPT 5.5 landed in late April. It's been a month, and 5.6 is already around the corner. Anthropic just quietly dropped 4.8. Gemini is iterating on the same clock. We can expect Gemini 3.5 Pro really soon. The release cycle has gone from every several months to blink and you'd miss it. We used to wait half a year for a frontier model. Now you can check your model picker on a Tuesday and it's just different. So that's Opus 4.8, sharper, more honest about its own work, genuinely better at agents, and somehow not more expensive. Worth the swap if you're already on Opus, but the bigger takeaway is the pace. The labs aren't taking turns anymore. They're stepping on each other, and as users, we just keep winning. If GPT 5.6 drops, it'll break it down the same day. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. This is India AI Pulse. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.